Welcome back to our channel. This is our tomato garden that we planted with 231 plants in it this year. We are excited to see where it's at. Come along for a tour of this garden. So it has been about 3 weeks and this is what our tomato garden looks like. It's starting to grow a little bit more and it's getting pretty exciting. We have some nice new green, really green growth going on the top of these plants. And something really exciting, we have them all caged already. Normally we don't have them caged this early, but we have them all caged except for one plant that just needs the spikes cut off the bottom of the cage, but otherwise they're all caged, which is awesome. These ones with these little horse fencing cages, they're made out of horse fencing is why I'm calling them that. They are a smaller variety. These are bush steak and these are sunrise sauce, and they can handle this type of a cage. They will kind of start to flop over and everything, but it's okay because they don't get super tall. Some of our other varieties over here, they will get a lot bigger and they have the big concrete wire mesh cages on them that we make, and they will end up using a lot of this space, which is going to be pretty cool. So we definitely have some new varieties that we're trying out this year, which we're pretty excited about. And some of these tomato plants are just looking pretty awesome. These two rows right here, I think they have 19 plants in them each. These are just cherry tomatoes in this row. I really wanted to do it that way so when we go to pick to take them to the farmer's market, they are really nice and neat together so I can pick them. And sometimes we like to kind of mix our cherry tomatoes. The customers seem to really like that. So it's just a lot of color. They seem to really like that sometimes. So we have some varieties that we know are amazing that we like. These ones are all sun gold. We do have some pear next, which some people really like those. They're not my husband's favorite though. A couple of these plants are new to us. These ones right here are called Sparky XSL. These have a longer shelf life, extra shelf life or extra storage life, and I'm pretty excited about these for the market. I'm really excited to try those because we haven't been able to try those yet. The reason that we're looking for other cherry tomatoes for the farmers market is because we often pick a lot of them that are favorites of people, like the sun golds, and then they split and then we can't really sell them that well. So having something that's a little bit more firm would be really nice for the farmers market and just for a longer shelf life. Okay, over here we have chocolate cherry. We grew those last year. And then sun peach, I'm pretty excited about these. We did grow these last year and other people have really enjoyed them. I kind of wanted to give them a second chance because I didn't feel all too excited about them last year, to be completely honest. Then we have artisan tomatoes over here, artisan mix. These are Berry's crazy cherries. These things literally did go like crazy last year. They were huge, big, bushy plants. I know they don't look like much now, but I'm pretty sure they're just getting a slow start. They're going to be awesome. They are like a yellow, almost like pointy looking cherry tomato, and they were super yummy and super sweet, and they sold really well, and there were just big clusters of fruit, which we really enjoyed with those. We do have some black cherry variety that we're trying this year. Those are new to us, so I'm excited about those. And we also are trying Sun Gold Select this year, which is a kind of Sun Gold, but they're supposed to be a little bit more hardy as far as like being able to take to market, which I'm pretty excited about that. At least that's what I've seen. I don't know how true that is because we haven't done that yet. Then if you come over this way, we have a bunch of our heirloom varieties in these next couple of rows. Like the Paul Robinson, those are new to us. I'm really excited to try those. Brandywine, and you guys notice I still have our little cups out here that they all started in just so I can see the variety name on there. We do kind of leave these out here all season long, and then at the end of the season I will collect those and we will use them again, but it's just a nice way to reference them. Instead of needing to grab my garden map and come and look at what's out here, I can just look right at the little cup and I don't have to spend time making labels. So that's kind of nice. We have Virginia Sweets. I'm really excited about trying those, and just look at how these plants are looking. They are doing amazing. So another thing I really wanted to point out is I have come around already today. I just did it. And when we come around, we push the tomatoes up in the cage, kind of like that, because like this big arm right here will start growing and it'll just start growing out of the cage, and then it's hanging out over here and then it breaks off and it just creates issues. So if you can just come along and push them up, that's what I like to do to kind of maintain the plant and just kind of keep things growing the way they should and growing up the cage. One of our next steps in this tomato garden is going to be, we're going to put 2 T-posts on the side of each row and probably one in the middle, and run a cable down the middle to try to prevent these from blowing over. Instead of putting a T-post or a stake of some sort or a big chunk of wood in there to kind of hold these cages down, because in the past that's what we've done. We've put a post of some sort and hammered it down into the ground, or used the T-post pounder to hold these tomato cages from taking a big wind and toppling over. If they do topple over, it's not a super big deal. You can pick them up and the plants are normally just fine. The fruit doesn't really get too damaged, but it's just pretty much annoying. So we're going to try to use some cable this year, run down the middle of the rows to kind of secure everything and guy them out on the ends. That's our plan, so we don't have to go and stake every single one of these tomato cages, because honestly that would cost a lot of money in T-posts. That would take a lot of time, and I don't want to do that 231 times. So we're not going to do that this year if we can avoid it, and that's our idea of how to avoid it this year. You notice that we do not trellis our tomatoes. We like to cage them. I know everybody has a different preference with that, but this is just what we like to do. We also don't really spend the time cutting or pruning our tomatoes at all. That's just what we like to do. I know a lot of people do prune, but that's just what we like to do, and we do get a lot of tomatoes. The way we do prune our tomatoes, though, is I come around and I prune them pretty high up on the plant. Like you can see, I pruned everything off down low, and then everything after that I will pretty much just let go, and we're just going to let it grow lots of suckers and lots of tomatoes, and it's going to be big and bushy, and that'll be okay. A big part of the reason we do that is because we just kind of don't have time to prune all of our tomato plants, and it's just one of the things that get away from us, and we've had success without pruning them, so why do something if it's not really necessary, I guess, is kind of what we're thinking. That's just the choice that we decide to make with growing our tomatoes. Over here we have some of more of our like beef steak or beef, this one's a Beefmaster hybrid in these rows, and then over that way I know we have all of our sauce tomatoes. We are growing a sauce variety that I'm really excited about this year. They are called Super Sauce, and they are supposed to be big, oval-shaped Roma that are just big for making sauce. A lot of our Romas just tend to be kind of small, typically, for the Romas we grow, so I'm really excited to hopefully get a big Roma sauce making variety. Today is June 19th, and we are really excited about how things are looking in here. We do have a couple of nights coming up with kind of low temperatures, which we're really worried about.
Stay tuned if you want to see if our tomatoes get killed by a frost or not. It might happen.
Okay,
honestly.
Because we have some cold nights coming up, which we're pretty worried about. The forecast says we're supposed to be in the high 30s at night tonight, and
which is dicey.
Yeah, because they're not always correct. So we'll see. Hopefully these plants continue to grow. And if we do just get those high 30s and the plants survive, some say that that really can stunt their growth, so that might be an issue as well.
June is not typically a month for us where our garden really blows up. It's just kind of a transplant month where things kind of get established. And July and August are the months where we really start getting some produce coming in and things really blow up.
Yeah, and it gets pretty exciting then, but right now it's kind of like everything just kind of starts to take off a little bit, and by July it's looking pretty awesome.
As long as it doesn't get killed by hail or frost in June, we're pretty happy.
Yeah, we know a lot of gardeners have to deal with that though. But everybody's growing conditions are definitely different, and you just have to do what you're able to do in your area, of course. We just also wanted to share the reason that we decided to do a dedicated garden with just tomatoes in it, and the reason for that is because of watering. Last year we had our tomatoes mixed in with all of our other produce, and they got way too much water, and our fruit started to split and crack, and it was super frustrating because there was a lot of fruit we could not take to the farmer's market that we just had to can and eat ourselves, which is great. I mean, I love doing that, but there's a point where you have too much.
When you plan to sell it and you can't sell it,
it's frustrating.
It makes a lot more work for you, and it's frustrating.
Yeah. So anyways, the reason we did this was to control the water a little bit more, because tomatoes, we were definitely overwatering them last year, and that's just something we're kind of learning and fine-tuning still. So tomatoes is definitely the thing that is the biggest, most popular item at our farmer's market table. It's our niche. So having that problem last year with the overwatering was definitely quite the bummer. We did still have plenty. We were still able to sell. We were still able to go, but we weren't able to sell or go as much as we would have liked to.
We
And
sold out a lot of more
yeah.
days than we didn't, for
Yeah,
sure.
and in the past we hadn't really sold out. We would come home with quite a bit, and last year we sold out because we couldn't bring that much in the first place because a lot of it was ruined. So hopefully we have solved our watering issue, because some of our other crops that are in our other garden, they need a lot of water. Like the onions needed a lot of water, and beets, and like we had like squash in there, and winter squash, and all this sorts of stuff that needed a lot more water than what these needed. So hopefully we solved our problem. Another thing that really happened to us last year was we got some rain right at the time we were really discovering that we were having an overwatering issue, and that really did not help. It made a lot of our fruit split. So as far as this goes, this year we have had a lot of rain too, which has been kind of nice, but kind of unexpected. So we really haven't been watering this at all this year. We've watered it a handful of times, honestly, and that's just been a little bit different. So hopefully at the end of the season we don't get a lot of rain, because too much rain on your tomatoes is definitely not a good thing, aside from the fact that it can create like disease and bacteria.
So
Yeah.
if you have a plant that's full of fruit that's ready to be ripened, it'll suck all that water up into the fruit and it'll crack them. All those fruit will absorb the water and crack. That's what causes that.
Yeah, so that happened to us quite a bit last year. Super frustrating.
If you want to see if we freeze out in the next couple nights, stay tuned for more.
Yep, and thanks so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe and follow our journey. We are kind of in the process of transitioning more to like a market farm situation here, I guess, and not just growing produce for ourselves and selling a little bit of the excess. We want to sell a lot of the excess. Of course, still have the produce for ourselves and just kind of help out others in the local community, and also just provide fresh food here in Montana, when, you know, a lot of the food is sent from elsewhere for a lot of us.
Our local economy is mostly meat. Or supplements and veggies to that.
Okay. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and stay tuned to our channel if you want to see how this and the other gardens and projects that we have going on around here, how they end up. Thanks for watching.